The banking app lit up my car like a spotlight, and the number on the screen didn't even look real. $0 and 0 cents. My thumb refreshed it twice like I could bully the truth into changing, but the balance stayed dead. The $28,000 I'd scraped together for my dad's heart surgery, overtime, double shifts, skipped rent upgrades, no vacations, wasn't pending. It was gone. Then my phone buzzed with a text from my sister, Lena. Dad's fine, on meds for now. I need this private Tulum retreat for my brand deal. You're single. Pick up extra night shifts. Don't be dramatic. The smell of hospital disinfectant was still stuck in my hair from my 14-hour ER shift, and my hands were so tight on the steering wheel, my fingers ached. I wasn't shaking because of the money. I was shaking because she said it like I was the problem. And that's when I realized I wasn't robbed by a stranger. I was robbed by family. I drove straight to my parents' place because I needed to see their faces while the lie was still warm. And the whole way there, my brain kept replaying the same sick loop. How many times have I paid for her emergencies without calling them that? How many times have I swallowed it because it was easier than a fight? How many times did I tell myself it was temporary and she'd grow up? And how many times did my parents act like my job was a faucet they could turn on whenever Lena wanted something shiny? My name is Maya. I'm 32. For 5 years, my life has been trauma bays, blood pressure alarms, vending machine dinners, and saving every spare dollar because my dad's heart issues don't care about my mood. Lena, though, Lena cared about image. Online, she was a high-frequency wellness coach, all green juice and breath work and abundance. In real life, she was drowning in credit cards she hid from her husband, Ethan, and she treated my money like it was a shared family subscription. When I pushed open my parents' front door, the living room smelled like expensive vanilla candles, the kind that pretend everything is calm. Lena was stretched out on the couch, scrolling through flight upgrades like this was a spa day. Ethan sat beside her with a craft beer, and my parents were across from them sipping tea like it was normal to watch one daughter steal from the other. My dad wouldn't look at me. He stared at the rug and muttered that he gave Lena the password because she needed capital. My mom set her cup down with a hard little clink and hit me with the line I'd heard my whole life, just repackaged. Your sister isn't stable right now. Consider it an advance on taking care of us. You don't have kids. You don't have a mortgage. Stop being selfish. That's when it clicked. Nobody in that room was shocked by what she did. They were only waiting to see if I'd keep being convenient. If you want to see what happened next, stay with me. And if you like stories that reveal what people try to hide, don't forget to like and subscribe. I felt the heat climb up my neck, the old instinct to argue and plead and prove I mattered. But something in me went very quiet, like the moment in the ER when your voice drops because the room just turns serious. I swallowed the acid in my throat, forced my face into something smooth, and said, "You're right, Mom," in that soft tone that makes people relax because they think they won. Then I looked at Lena and smiled like I was helping, like I was still her sister and not her target. And I said, "International transfers can get messy. Let me help you finalize everything so nothing delays your trip." Her eyes lit up in that greedy way she tried to hide, and she nodded too fast. 2 hours later, we were in the bank's VIP lounge, the kind with polished leather, espresso smell, and a glass table that makes your life feel expensive even when it isn't. Lena kept checking her watch like time was her enemy, tapping her heel against the marble, and I could practically hear the desperation under her fake calm because her flight to Tulum was in 48 hours and she needed the money cleared before Ethan asked questions. I slid her a cold water and kept my voice flat, professional, like I was explaining lab results. The transfer triggered a compliance hold. Anything over 10 grand needs secondary authorization and a signed release from Dad. The fraud team emailed him a secure link. Lena rolled her eyes, already reaching for her phone because of course she had my dad's email password saved. She always did. "This is ridiculous," she muttered, tapping like the screen owed her. "I'll sign it for him. He can barely open an email." I leaned back and took a slow sip of water. "The signal in here is trash," I said casually. "Use the bank's Wi-Fi. Loads faster." She didn't even look up. She connected, clicked the link, and traced my father's name across the screen with that lazy confidence people get when they're used to crossing lines. Done, she sighed, tossing the phone down. Now can we wrap this up? I have a fitting later. She smiled at me like she'd outsmarted the world, but she forgot what I do for a living. I don't just handle emergencies, I document them. And the second she used her personal device on the bank's network to sign as my father, she gave the bank's investigators exactly what they needed: device ID, access logs, location, everything tied neatly to her. I smiled back like I was proud of her. The trap didn't feel dramatic, it felt clinical. If you want to see what happened next, stay with me. And if you like stories that reveal what people try to hide, don't forget to like and subscribe. Lena and Ethan were already celebrating. Clinking a champagne flute, the banker complimented them, talking about beach villas bought with my father's surgery money like it was just clever budgeting, when the lounge door opened and it wasn't staff. Three men in dark suits walked in with the bank manager right behind them, and the manager's face had that drained color people get right before they say something that changes your life. The lead agent didn't look at me or the champagne or the glossy travel folder. He walked straight to Lena like she had a tag on her forehead. "Lena Carter?" he asked, voice flat, no warmth. Lena's smile slipped. "Yes? Who are you?" "Federal investigators," he said. "You're being detained in connection with bank fraud and identity theft." The room went silent in a way that made my ears ring. Lena's fingers lost their grip on the flute and it shattered on the floor, champagne spraying across her designer shoes. And for the first time all night, her wellness mask cracked. She scrambled back into the couch cushions like they were going to protect her. "Wait, no," she stammered. "This is a misunderstanding. That's my father's account. I'm authorized." The second agent calmly said, "We have the signed authorization transmitted from your personal device. Please stand up." Ethan shot to his feet and didn't step in front of his wife, didn't demand a lawyer, didn't even touch her arm. He backed up to the wall like she was contagious and stared at her like he'd never met her. The cuffs clicked shut with that sharp mechanical snap that makes people's bravado evaporate. Lena locked eyes with me, and what stared back wasn't rage, it was terror. Real animal terror. She'd spent years confusing expensive clothes and stolen money with superiority, and now, with one signature tied to her own device, the illusion peeled off like cheap sticker jewelry. "Maya, tell them!" she screamed as they pulled her toward the exit. "Tell them it's family money!" I took another slow sip of water and said, steady, almost bored, "Family ties don't make wire fraud illegal, Lena." And the way her face changed told me she finally understood this wasn't a fight she could talk her way out of. If you want to see what happened next, stay with me. And if you like stories that reveal what people try to hide, don't forget to like and subscribe. I thought that would be the end. She'd face consequences, my dad would get his money back, my parents would stop treating me like an ATM. But toxic families don't end clean. They retaliate. 2 days later, my hospital badge wouldn't scan at the staff entrance. It flashed red like I didn't belong there. Security walked me into a windowless HR office that smelled like toner and stale air, and the director slid a paper across the desk with the kind of careful voice people use when they're pretending they're not accusing you. An anonymous tip was filed with the state board, allegation of medication diversion. My stomach dropped so hard I felt it behind my ribs. It was a career killer accusation, the kind that stains you even if it's false. And I knew exactly who would think of it, because Lena always attacked the one thing you couldn't replace. I was suspended immediately pending an audit, escorted out like I'd stolen something, and I sat in my car in the parking lot staring at the steering wheel because my hands wouldn't stop sweating. Then my Bluetooth screen lit up with Lena's number. I answered because I wanted it on record. Her voice came in hot and smug, like she was smiling while she spoke. "How was work today, Maya? Oh, wait, you don't have a job anymore." She started barking demands, telling me to fix the federal case, saying she'd make sure my license got revoked permanently, and the whole time my dash cam's little red light blinked above the mirror like a heartbeat. I said, clearly, "I'm driving. This call is being recorded. Stop threatening me." There was a 2-second pause. Then her narcissism shoved past her caution like it always did. I don't care who hears it, she snapped. You ruined my life over stupid surgery money. Drop it or I'll destroy you. You're nothing without that hospital. My hands stayed steady on the wheel. My voice stayed calm. Thank you, I said, and I ended the call. She thought she was breaking me. Instead, she handed me a clean confession to witness intimidation and retaliation. I drove straight to the district attorney's office with the footage on a flash drive and dropped it like evidence, because that's what it was. 72 hours later, new charges were added. Ethan filed for divorce the second it hit the docket because cowardice always finds an exit. The government froze the stolen funds as evidence, my parents tried to mortgage their house to save her, and suddenly their sympathy had a price tag they couldn't pay. The audit cleared my name, HR called with fake sweetness, offered apologies, and even dangled a promotion like I'd beg for it, and I listened without interrupting until she finished her script. Then I said, I don't work for institutions that question my integrity because my sister wants revenge, and I hung up. By Friday, my apartment was empty. I signed a travel nursing contract 3 states away, loaded my car, and before I pulled onto the highway, I blocked my father, blocked my mother, and didn't wait for them to type. Months later, Lena was sentenced to federal time and ordered restitution she couldn't afford. My parents lost their house trying to rescue the person who robbed them, and an envelope from a correctional facility showed up at my new place with 9 pages of family and blame. I didn't open it. I fed it straight into the shredder and listened to the paper turn into dust. That night, I stood on my balcony with clean mountain air in my lungs and a mug of hot coffee in my hands, while my friend Jade laughed inside with my new coworkers, people who asked how my day was and meant it, people who didn't love me only when I was useful. And the twist I didn't expect wasn't that Lena went to prison. It's that the moment I stopped rescuing them, my body finally stopped living like it was on call. If you want to see what happened next, stay with me. And if you like stories that reveal what people try to hide, don't forget to like and subscribe. Here's the part that still messes with me. Losing the $28,000 hurt, but what hurt more was how normal they acted when they did it, like my life was just spare change. People love to tell you, but that's your family, as if DNA is a legal document that excuses theft, threats, and sabotage. And if you've ever been the responsible one in a toxic bloodline, you already know the trap. Everyone's emergency becomes your job, and the second you say no, they call you cruel. So I'm asking you something I wish someone asked me years ago. If the only time they call you family is when they need something, what are you actually to them?